Tampa is David Correia. He is a writer and activist working on police violence in Albuquerque. David, good to have you back on the program. I got to ask you, we had you here a few weeks ago,
right?
And you were really tough on the police department, as you have been for years. What's your reaction to this DOJ report?
Well, I agree with you. It's scathing. It's a complete, I think, confirmation of everything that families of PD victims have been saying. Not only did they agree that it's the widespread unjustified use of deadly force and non-lethal force, they called it unconstitutional policing in APD, and they pointed out that this is not just a problem with officers, it's a problem of leadership, it's a problem of training officers to use force first. They emphasize force, they ignore investigations of officer-involved shootings, there is toothless civilian oversight. They called it systemic.
Yeah.
It was astonishing, even more so, that this police department that they define as incapable of doing anything other than what they call unconstitutional policing is now somehow going to have a role in determining how that police department is reformed.
And that's what I want to get to with you. You wanted the police department put into receivership. So are you disappointed that the recommendations from the Justice Department don't go that far?
Well, it was an ambiguous press conference. The report, the 46-page report, most of it is this page after page of evidence.
Right.
They did their due diligence to demonstrate that this is a police department that uses unjustified force, but then 46 specific recommendations that the report just says should happen. The report says nothing about how it will happen or who it will make it happen. The press conference, the Department of Justice officials at the press conference indicated, and this was very ambiguous, they never used the word federal monitor. They never used the word receivership. Who will make the police department implement these reforms? It's not clear. And certainly none of the families of APD victims have been invited to be a part of that decision-making. They even said that they will be engaging in a series of conversations and negotiations with the city and APD. Now, this to us is astounding. It's astonishing. It's unacceptable.
Does it make you wonder? Yeah, David, does it make you wonder what level of findings you'd have to come up with to get to the next level of punishment of the department, of taking the reins from the department? What more would the DOJ have to find here?
I don't think there's a possibility to find any more. They just said this is a police department that routinely violates people's Fourth Amendment rights. This is unconstitutional policing. What more could they find? That's the damning part. And so it's really, I think that's why it's ambiguous. I think that there still is the possibility, and we will continue to put pressure on DOJ to appoint a federal monitor to impose these changes, not recommend these changes. And also we will demand that this be the start of a transformation of policing in Albuquerque and not the end of a conversation to fix these problems, because people are dying in Albuquerque, and most of them are homeless, and a lot of them suffer from mental illness, and those are the people that are dying.
David, appreciate your time once again. David Correia, he is a writer and activist working on police violence in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we've got some breaking news for you now. A source tells the Associated Press that Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius is resigning. And you'll recall, she was the person at the top of the food chain here after a rocky rollout to the Affordable Care Act. You remember all of the problems with the website, and she was effectively the person in charge. David Schuster is here. Quick thoughts on this, David?
Well, in a way, I mean, her leaving now is not as bad as it would have been, say, 6 months ago. Because they did reach the 7 million goal that they had. An estimated 10 million people have insurance who didn't have it before, but there have long been complaints of the administration that somebody had to have been held accountable for failures of the website, and a lot of people pointed at Kathleen Sebelius. It's an interesting transformation for her, Tony, because if you recall back in 2008, a lot of people were talking about Kathleen Sebelius, then the governor of Kansas, as a possible running mate for Barack Obama. And it's just amazing to see how far her stature has fallen in the public's eyes simply because of what she's had to deal with at HHS.
And it was a difficult job from the very beginning. If you were the person heading the